Welcome back to Styles Garage. In this video I'll be installing a aftermarket fuel pressure regulator and a fuel pressure gauge. So let's begin. Alright, so this is what we're putting in. It's Aeromotive 13130. It's a regulator for EFI. And it comes with 2 inlet ports, -6, and 1 return -6. An 8th NPT for fuel pressure gauge. And this is also boost referenced over here. And you adjust the fuel pressure from here. And it comes with this. It comes with the fittings that you need to put into these ports. And these come with, these are O-ringed at the end. And this side you have male -6s. And over here you have the pressure gauge that also comes with, that we're going to mount in the front right here. Oh, I also put a plug over here, an Aeromotive plug. It's part number 15626 from Aeromotive. This is, it comes O-ringed on it. This is what you need to plug it. And we're just going to use 1 inlet and the return line underneath. So let me show you in the car how it's going to look. Okay, so it's the return line. We're going to put an atomic EFI in this car. So we need just to put this after the return line goes heading straight to the gas tank. So this will be the inlet from the atomic, and over here we're going to put an AN fitting to go straight to the gas tank. So we're probably going to mount it here somewhere as far as we can to the left. And now I'm going to take this fuel line out and cut it. That's the return line. Okay, now that we took the 5/16 headed self-tapper off, I'm going to go ahead and free this fuel line and cut it. Good thing to do is to open up the gas cap, just in case there's any pressure. No pressure. Okay, now we're going to use AN wrenches here. You can also use regular adjustable wrenches with some electrical tape on the jaws of it. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect it from here. And put a rag underneath to catch any gas that may spill out. And let that drain. Alright, so we're going to mount the fuel pressure gauge over here, and I'm going to cut the line here. I'm just going to put some electrical tape around it right over here. I'm going to use wire cutters to do this. Probably the safest way because these lines have gas in them. As you can see here, it did a pretty nice cut. And if you have any stragglers, any wires hanging out, you could just cut those off with a pair of dikes. My favorite tool in my toolbox. And now you could just take this electrical tape off. And it's also a good idea if you want to blow this out with some compressed air. Alright, now the fuel line going straight to the gas tank. I'm going to use one of these. It's a hose end with a female AN on the other side. That's Russell part number 610025. So I'm going to put this on. Okay, now take this line, take the tape off, take this fitting, take this end and push this in counterclockwise all the way down until it pretty much bottoms out. And that's good. Over here I like to put a piece of tape right where the fitting ends, just so when I screw in the other fitting on top of this, I'll know if this fitting was pushed out. I put some hose assembly lube on this, or you could put some oil, engine oil. It's my butter sauce. And now I can thread this in. Okay, I grabbed Alright, so when you tighten this down, don't go all the way down. Leave about a 1/16 of an inch clearance, or about a hair. And that's good. Alright, now that you're fully all the way down, you can take the tape off. As you can see, there's no steel braiding exposed here. That means this fitting was not pushed up and out. So this side is done. Okay, now on the fuel pressure regulator, we're going to put a little bit of butter sauce on these O-rings here. One on the plug. You don't want to put your O-rings in dry because you might tear them. So that's a no-no. Go ahead and tighten that down. And the same thing on these O-rings here. One here and one here. And go ahead and tighten all this down. That's good. That's good. And that's good. Now this is the other side of the line that we cut that goes to the throttle body. We're going to put this adapter, this fitting on here. Same thing counterclockwise as you're pushing down. And that's good. You don't want to go all the way on the bottom, so that's good. Okay, now I also like to do sometimes here, I have a screwdriver here, a Phillips head, and open up this hose a little bit inside. Sometimes it's a little scrunched in there, and now it's good. Tape on this. Some more butter sauce on this fitting here, and now insert it into that bitch right there. And you're good. And now these two Allen headed cap screws are 9/64 heads, and take those off. The whole bracket comes off right with it. Okay, they have a 3/16 pipe plug here. I'm gonna take this off, and the fuel pressure gauge goes there. Alright, I'm going to put some Teflon tape on this, and you go with the threads. Okay, now this gauge has a little valve up here. What they want you to do is hold it up and pop the stem out, then push it back in. This vents the gauge to atmosphere. So I'm also going to put this band back on over it once we install this gauge to this regulator. So go ahead now and pop this on. Now when you tighten this down, make sure the vent points straight up. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this down one turn. It should be good. And that's good. And now I'm going to put that band back on here to cover the vent valve. And we're good. Alright, so I hand threaded this in just to mock it up so I could mark where the bracket should go. I also put an Allen here over here, an Allen key, just so I know there's enough space over here so I could put it in and turn it to adjust the fuel pressure. And I think we're going to go around here. We have enough space to pop this in. So take the bracket, put it on underneath. Put it right there. Okay, now that's where we want it. We're going to put the self-tapper in here. We're also going to put some black RTV silicone on these threads. Also putting some tape on here to hold this in place, just a little bit. Tighten the bottom down. And we're good. Alright, now pop this on here. tighten those down. And you're good. Okay, now last but not least, put the fuel line onto the throttle body. And tighten that down. That's good. And we're done. Alright, now our car here, we didn't come with a vacuum regulator over here, so we're just going to leave this to vent to atmosphere. If you have a vacuum, go ahead and connect it. Also, you can drive this nut up and turn it clockwise to raise the pressure, counterclockwise to lower it. Now this car, we're not going to set the fuel pressure because it's already regulated inside we have a sniper on here, so we're going to leave it. It's regulated through there. So this is just so we're going to switch this out with the atomic, so we're going to leave this there just the way it is. Probably we're going to take it all the way up, so the pressure will be all the way up on this, and we don't care because, like I said, the pressure is regulated by the sniper. So that's how you install a fuel pressure regulator. And this also has a boost feature. I believe this is 1-to-1. It raises it 1 psi fuel pressure for every 1 psi of boost inside the manifold. Also, one more thing, check to see if there's any fuel that comes out of the fittings when you start the car. There's no leaks, and if there are, go around and tighten them down. What I do is I like to put my hands around all the fittings when I start it to check for fuel leaks. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. And we're good, no leaks. So thanks for watching, subscribe to my channel, like me, share me, also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, Cloudy1969. Sayonara.